It's okay. Oh. Let's see, is anyone on? Let's see. See if anyone comes on. Oh, hey Andrew. Oh, not much. I was in Kentucky recently, and I just figured I'd do a live stream. I'm just kind of bored right now, so figured I'd, just chat and yeah. But yeah, not much going on. How is everyone doing? Mm, sounds great. I'll definitely tune on in. Hold on just a sec. What was your old account? Holiday Inn hotels are good. Well, I should definitely call. Evan, be nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's good to know. Who Andrew? Noah Elevators Gaming and more. Yeah. Yeah. Where in California are you going? That's good. Drivers in Florida are really bad. I mean, our insurance rates are some of the worst in the nation, and there's accidents almost every frickin' day. So, yeah. 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 I mean, it seems though that a lot of people in North America don't know how to drive in general. Yeah, it's been kind of a rainy day out. Like, well, not exactly rainy per se, but it's just most of the day it's just been cloudy and just gloomy out. I know you are. I can't wait to see your new house. By the way, Andrew, does your house have any your new house, I know it's like a historic house. Does it have any vintage toilets in it? I'm doing good. Where are you from? Yeah, I need to definitely come on up sometime. Yeah, I would really like to go up definitely. Oh, you're putting one in? That's good. I'm guessing they were probably replaced. And hello. Moved to Grand Prairie, Texas. That's good. That's good. You're heading to Dallas this week to visit family members, okay? You have an iPhone 6s. I have a Galaxy S9 Plus. Hmm. What's modern junk? Oh, Andrew is awesome. Hey, Jay. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, you were saying that somewhere else, Jonathan. That is pretty unfortunate. Didn't you say they had like a manual Otis or something there? Oh, it's got a crappy modern toilet. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. You've at a Ramada in Bronx, Bronx as in New York City, and I'm guessing, and by innovative elevator, do you mean an elevator with innovation fixtures, or are you talking about just an elevator that's like cool and innovative, as in like it's good quality and has good features? All right, sounds great. Chat with you later, Andrew. Good luck. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here or not, but I would be more than happy to call you. Marriott hotels, I've stayed at Marriott pretty much throughout my life. They're great. They're pretty much I've stayed at probably hundreds of Marriott properties. I've only stayed in like maybe two that were bad, but that all being said though, they're all pretty expensive though. They used to not be, but they're becoming more and more expensive though. Oh, didn't realize that. If I don't know if that's on your end or mine, but probably mine, but I apologize for that. 80s elevators, not really. I guess it just depends. The I mean, like those Elevonic 401s, I mean, they're an excellent system, and a lot of older series ones and Impulse, Dover Hydros and stuff, they're pretty reliable. A lot of 80s elevators are pretty reliable. A lot of the elevators I see break the most are elevators from the 2010s. And sometimes in some 70s elevators, but mostly elevators from the 2010s. Have I ever been kicked out while filming? Yes. And actually, I was in Louisville last week and I was harassed by security at a building I had filmed there. There was a building I filmed there that had 30-story Otis Autotronics. The inside buttons were replaced with innovation, but they still have the original indicators and touch call buttons on the upper floors. And security thought I was actually disguising as an Otis guy to break into the building and wander around or something like that. And yeah, it was really weird. And as I was leaving, it looked like cops were entering the building. I don't know if it was because of me or if it was because of someone else. I mean, there were cops everywhere in Louisville when I went, but still, it was scary. I've been busted pretty badly a few times, but all things considered, you got to keep in mind, I've been on thousands of elevators. I've only been busted a few times, but I've probably my worst busts, I'd say, were when I got busted at the Republic. I think it's the Republic Center in Orlando, and my bust at Republic Plaza in Denver. And also when I was busted in Seattle at One Union Square and this bust in Louisville. Those would be like my 4 worst ones, but yeah. And yeah, security does come up with the weirdest excuses, but unfortunately, they have every right to do what they want. Let me see what else. Oh, innovative with tits and crap. Holiday Inn hotels, I mean, they're not my most favorite, but they're usually good. I haven't stayed in many though. I've only stayed in like 2 of them. I usually Oh, audio issues? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking. Oh my god. Yeah, the Republic Center in Orlando, what had happened was me and Joseph Sinku, we were, O-Town elevators. Me and him were riding the elevators in the 2 office buildings, and apparently we were reported to security or called the cops on. And as I was leaving the building and when I filmed in the parking deck, the cops came and said I couldn't do what I was doing, and they had like 15 phone calls. I mean, she was nice about it, but it still scared me, and it's still obviously really serious when the cops are called on you. It's scary. Hey Justin, what's up? Yeah, I get what you're saying totally. I'd say on a tighter budget, I'd say Wyndham and Best Western are the best, but for like higher end kind of places, I prefer. I mean, Marriott is by far the best in terms of quality. Oh, I was telling a story that happened a few years ago with me and Joseph Sinku. Yeah, he has. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say, our elevator hobby is really weird for most people, and many people don't get it. So they're not going to think we're there enjoying elevators, or if they hear us say that, they're going to think we're hiding something from them. I mean, a lot of people see our hobby as a terror attack, as much as I hate to say. Yeah, I went to Lexington, but I did day trip to Louisville a couple times last week. And I stayed at a Town Place Suites, and on the drive up, I stopped at a Fairfield Inn, and on the drive back down, I stopped at a Spring Hill Suites. I had to call management. You serious? Dang. I mean, I've never had a problem with a big Marriott property. I mean, like I said, the only bad Marriott properties I've stayed at were the AC Hotel in Asheville. You guys watch my tour of that in case you haven't. And the other one was the Fairfield Inn in Florence, South Carolina. I have a video of the elevator there somewhere. It was from 2012 before I opened my channel, but I stayed there before I started filming. The place became a Days Inn since, and that place was really run down and reeked of smoke. I mean, it makes total sense Marriott why it lost its Marriott franchise. And it was like one of those first generation Fairfield Inns where like they have exterior corridors on the first 2 floors, and on the 3rd floor it's interior. I mean, I will say it is a pretty interesting design, but I mean, most of them have shut down and are now low end budget places, mostly by choice, but some also Wyndham as well. Yeah. Renaissance is great. And nice you're staying at a Marriott in Chicago. I mean, Marriott's in general almost always have very positive reviews. Yes, the Fairfield in Florence, South Carolina. It's now the Days Inn now. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do about it. The Crown Reef Resort, I didn't film those, but I did film a lot of resorts in Myrtle Beach, though, with, stuff like, newer mostly new most of the resorts in Myrtle Beach are, new in the newer buildings, it's mainly newer Series 1, but, most of the buildings were in Myrtle Beach are from the '70s or '80s, and most of them used to have either US or Otis Lexan elevators, but all but a select few have been modded, and they've either been modded by Otis, Cavender, or, um, or ThyssenKrupp. I need some advice. My mother is angry because my girlfriend starts keeps farting in my face while I sleep. Wait, and she feels that we should break up. I'm conflicted on the issue, but because I love her, what do I do? Um, help. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not the one to talk to for relationship advice. So I'm sorry, but you came to the wrong person. I mean I'm single. I only had one girlfriend and, she cheated on me. I gave her 3 strikes and, yeah, she had cheated on me 3 times and I'm like, I couldn't take it, so bye-bye. And I'm gonna probably stay single for a while. Do I like preschool kitty music? Hell no. I'm 16 and 3 quarters years old now. I'm almost 17, actually. I'm probably more than 3, because 'cause I'm gonna be 17 next month, so let's see. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, he does comment that. I don't understand why. We don't thanks to stupid government building codes and that involve the elevators and stuff, we don't really have much vintage stuff here. We do have a few manuals, that are, like, historically protected, but other than that, pretty much everything here in Florida is modern crap. And yeah, happy birthday, Element elevators, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, Schindler elevators and IKEA, that's kind of a theme with them. I mean, many department stores, either they have one of 2 things. They're either Schindler or Kone. Oh, of course, buddy, of course. I mean, and I forgot that your birthday was yesterday. I'm glad, though, that I uploaded something you like. Yeah, so a couple people have said that you actually quit San Antonio Life Academy, is that true? And by the way, Mohammed, I would say probably the best elevator in Florida is probably the one at the plant hall in Tampa. 1891 Otis with a mush motor room. It had its motor equipment modded in 1925 because it was originally water powered, steam powered, and they turned it into attraction. But it still is its original cab and crank and a lot of other things, and it's an amazing elevator, and the cab is gorgeous on that thing. Yeah, yeah, and, Pretty much in Tampa, your elevators are innovated junk, ThyssenKrupp, some Kone, a few newer Otises, and that's pretty much describes Tampa elevators, and also some Epco and Adams. And then Orlando, lots of Otis, newer Otis, lots of ThyssenKrupp, Kone, some Schindler 330As, not really much, like I said, not much vintage stuff here. Florida's really modern. And unfortunately, I've been hearing rumors Tennessee may go the same path as Florida if a new code there gets approved in a few years, according to Andrew. And that would really suck because they have some awesome stuff up there. And Minnesota's just as bad, if not worse, than Florida, too. I'll accept it happened more recently there. Oh, it is way too hot here, yeah. It's generic and it's poorly made. And it just, I mean, the EcoDisc is meant to be a good concept. It should be because it's very energy efficient and they use a very linear motor design and stuff. But the thing is they just use a lot of Chinese and Mexican parts to make them. And they're very cheaply made and they do not hold up well at all. And I've seen, and the controllers are buggy and glitchy, and I've seen many that just break a lot and are really unreliable. I mean, probably the best Kones I know of that I've been on would probably be the high-rise ones, the Polarises I saw in Montreal. I mean, the Alta and the Polaris aren't bad, but all of their MRLs and the ecosystem MRs and the mini spaces are junk. And awesome. I'm looking forward to that, Jay. I don't particularly like modding people, to be honest. I kind of like running my channel and stuff in the chats, but that's just me, though. I mean, the newer Kones are the thing is with the newer ones, yeah, the voices are better, but I really don't see much of a difference with them otherwise. Over here, I'm looking. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's Florida for you. Element elevators, I mean, pretty much everything here is generic junk. Oh, Lou, she's doing great, and in case nobody's noticed, she's like right here. Just gave me some likes. Yeah, Impulse is cool, and actually the closest elevator to my house is an Impulse too. I do have my license. I've had it for actually a few months now. No, she's a Havanese. Yeah, ThyssenKrupp and Kone, I mean, have been modding everything. I mean, I've seen mods from everybody destroying amazing and old elevators, but Kone and ThyssenKrupp seem to be the worst at it. And what's so funny, Neil Rocks 84? And thank you. Yeah, I hope so too. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I really hope that that Northwest Indiana elevators, yeah, I really hope that Tennessee doesn't put that code into effect. Apparently, according to Andrew, there was a building owner at a building in Bristol that it like it was at a building in Bristol with an Otis Black button, and the building had said that the state has been talking about putting a new elevator code in where they'll have to replace all old elevators in the state. And the building owner said is that if that code gets put in place, he'd have to sell the building because he doesn't have enough money to mod the elevator there. I have been on a few, but it's been a while though. It was before I started YouTube. I prefer Android, in particular Samsung and Google products. And for computers, I prefer Windows, and I'm actually talking to you guys via a Windows computer. Yeah, of course it is. That place only opened in 2009, duh. It's not that old. And it's nice to know Texas has some cool stuff. I have a Galaxy S9 Plus. That's good to know. Yeah, Impulse isn't bad at all. They're really good quality. I don't see why anyone would want to mod them, especially because I mean they're durable and ADA compliant. I'm 16, almost 17. I'll be 17 in less than a month actually. That's cool. That's good. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I've used both. Keep in mind, I've owned and have used both many Apple, and Android and Windows products, and I can definitely tell you, at least nowadays, Android and in my experience, Android and Windows are better, but that's just my personal experience and opinion. That's good to know. I haven't been on those yet. Well, I don't see the point of modding an elevator. Like controller problems maybe, but like for being older, that's not I don't see that. I mean, why fix something if it's not broken and it works, you know? I mean, and that's what I don't get. I mean, a lot of people think they have to have the latest and greatest of everything, but um you know, in reality, new stuff is cheap and just not built to last, where the old stuff, I mean, is practically built to last forever when it comes to, I mean, really in general, but like elevators, like those old Otises especially, I mean, those things they like practically are built to last hundreds of years with no end. I mean, like if you ever have been on like a 50s or 60s Otis, I mean, what's you'd notice is that the ride quality is far better than a modern elevator. My favorite kinds of elevators are mainly my favorites are manually controlled elevators, but I also like Otis Autotronic, Elevonic 401, and Westinghouse Selectomatic systems a lot. Really controlled impulses, most of the ones I've been on have been just fine. That's cool. I'd love to go out there someday. I've only been to the UK, France, and Germany, but that was when I was a little kid though. But I haven't been to any other European countries. But I'd like to go out someday. I don't really have an opinion on them because I haven't been on one. You like Gen 2s? Gen 2 is probably the best MRL, but what I will say though is that I'm kind of sick of them. They're everywhere in Orlando. If you ever come to Orlando, it's Gen 2 heaven here. Oh, Yeah, it's true. Cars are the same way. I know of someone who owns a 1957 Chevy Bel Air, and it's still going, and it's like in mint condition. Yeah, so far I've been to England and Ireland, so like the UK, France, Germany, Canada, a little bit of Mexico, and also a French island called Saint Pierre, which borders with Canada. So that's where I've been to outside of the US. I do have a fair amount of elevator videos from Canada, but no other country aside from there in the US. Because when I went overseas, it was when I was a lot younger than I am now. And I'm gonna assume just Niagara Falls. Wow, what kind of Death Trap parking garage in Old San Juan? What kind of elevator was it? Toyotas and GMs are really good. I like both of them. In my opinion, the worst are Kias, Hyundais, and Fords, and modern Fords. I mean, the old ones are good, but the new ones, ugh. But but the but like but the Kias though, I mean, I'm not a fan, and sadly, I'm stuck with one right now because thanks to how expensive car insurance is here, I'm stuck with one, and I mean, I'm not. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's okay, but it's very glitchy though. That Kelly elevator, I know which one you're referring to. Yeah. You want to know why that thing was out when I was there? Because someone tampered with the door mechanism, and a bunch of college students, they tampered with the door mechanism, and it was all screwed up, and they had to fix it. I mean, GM, I mean, in my honest experience and stuff, I personally see GM is being they're just about as reliable as the Japanese stuff, but they aren't quite because, they use more electrical stuff, but in general though, they're pretty good in my experience, but I respect your opinion if you do disagree. My apologies, I don't know what else to do. The Marriott World Center elevators, they're still Kone, if that's what you're asking. They were modded back in those were modded back in 2011 by Ultra Eric. You can't drive to Puerto Rico, it's an island, you'd have to fly there. Or take a ship. Crap, crap too. Yeah. Now I will say their 2000s cars are junk, but their vintage stuff and the stuff from the 2010s is pretty good. But I will agree, 90s and 2000s GM cars are not that great. FCA Dodge, they make some pretty awesome stuff. I mean, they're not the most reliable, but I can tell you they make some of the coolest, dopest stuff there is. They have improved a lot in recent years. They aren't as bad as they were in the 2000s, but they're not the greatest though, but I mean, they make some pretty good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, and Fuji Tech in the States is amazing here. I mean, especially I love those ones with those vanity style buttons the best. Yeah, I do not really like Nissans either. I had a grandma, my grandma owned a Versa. It was an unreliable piece of junk. Who the heck names a car a cube or a leaf? I mean, that's the other thing. That's a lot of modern cars. They literally name modern cars get the dumbest names and the cringiest names. I mean, now like Corvette, Camaro, stuff like that, or Chevelle, or Silverado. That is how you name a car. But Cube, Note, Leaf, ugh, cringe. What's up? What's up? What? Oh. I don't exactly, it's not mine, but I do drive a I do, like, have a car that I'll drive to, like, school and back. It's not necessarily mine because my mom still uses it for, road trips and some other stuff, but, I drive I drive kind of a granny's car. I drive, a Kia Optima, and sometimes I'll drive because we have two cars and they're both Kias. We had to trade in our RAV4 because insurance wouldn't insure me on that, and it was just too much. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing after I'm done with school, but I'm still in high school for now. And for my job, I actually work at the airport, as it's kind of a part-time job. I just pretty much just help people with their baggage and stuff. It's a long commute though, but it's a fun job. Hey Alex, what's up? Oh, the Dodge Demon is freaking awesome. And the Firebird, I agree, that is a cool name. I mean, like I said, everyone knew how to name things back then. I mean, now, look, people give the dumbest names for cars now. Oh, Airbus A380s, those things are ginormous. I think that they may kill them off, though, or have. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check, but I think I heard something about them killing them off eventually, or that they did recently. Yeah, they stopped making them. I mean, they're pricey. I mean, they're ginormous. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but aircrafts cost billions of dollars to build, and they cost a lot to run. I just finished 11th last month. I'm gonna be in 12th grade this year. Oh, Noah, I see that you were just saying that someone rear-ended you. Was it that bad? Are you okay and everything? I've been on a A330, but not a A380. And A320s I've been on. Most airlines, they either use A320s or Boeing 737s. May actually is when I graduate. May 2020, class of 2020. And then I'll be done with hell, aka school. I'm sorry to hear that, but glad you're okay though. Yeah, you should try to film those. I'd love to see a new video of those. Also, like I said, also check the investment building. I want to see if those autotronics are truly gone yet, or if only one's out, or if like the three being out was just a temporary thing, or if they're all out being modded. I mean, one elevator for 21 floors is insane. Well, it's true. Element elevators, it's true. I mean, many of the teachers, we have lots of dirty teachers that harass people with disabilities. I've been locked in a closet and cursed out by one teacher, and I've had teachers make fun of me and say some really hateful things. I had a teacher call me the R word before, and many of the kids are horrible. I mean, a lot of the kids in like public schools do drugs and start rumors and just whining about each other, and I do not like school whatsoever. It's not the learning part that I hate. It's the messed up teachers, and it's the corrupt teachers. The reason why the teachers get hired is because they're the school systems. I mean, our government. I mean, our school system in America sucks in general, but our schools in Florida are ran by businessmen who really don't even care about students. All they care about is money, and they don't spend much money into getting good teachers. All they care about is being richer, and they just get people off the streets and people that aren't qualified to be teachers, which I want our cities to be cleaned up. I want people to be off the street. But if you're going to be a teacher, and you need to be trained for it, and you need to know good news, and you need to know how to properly do it and what's right and wrong. And unfortunately, the teachers and stuff, it's horrible. I mean, like I said, the school system throughout the country is pretty corrupt as it is, but in Florida, we have some of the worst in the nation. Wait, Brandy, how was she treated? I'm so sorry. Wow. Yes, the Metro. I mean, I do have a few good friends, and because I currently go to a private school. Well, not quite a private school. It's like a charter school, meaning like it's not part of the mainstream school system. It's still funded by tax dollars, but it is free to go to. Um, but that school, I mean, it's better than where I went to for middle school. I mean, where I went to for middle school, I mean, the high school next door had shootings and bombings. And where I went to for middle school, we actually had a real fire and had to evacuate because somebody was smoking weed or a cigarette or something and lit one of the boards on the wall, and it caused a fire in the classroom. And where I go now, I mean, it's better than the public schools here, but that all being said, it still sucks. I mean, still lots of racism and nasty people, and teachers are very biased towards certain kids, and they don't listen to you, and the it's just I don't like school whatsoever. There's a reason I say it's hell and can't wait to get out. I mean, but then again, that's what you get for having a school that's not ran by educators, and it's ran by Republican businessmen. And I'm not trying to get politics into this, but that's the fact. Yeah, thank God it's summer. I mean, our schools need to be ran by educators, not businessmen. I mean, because, like I said, all the businessmen care about is money, and they don't care about students. I'm really sorry to hear that, Alex. There's some teachers at there was a teacher I had at my old middle school that kicked me out sometimes within the first 3 minutes of class, and there's another teacher at my current school that did that with another student every day. Yeah, who cares if she's in a wheelchair? I mean, we're born the way we are. You can't change that in dissing someone just because 'cause they're in a wheelchair. That's really hateful and just messed up. I mean I mean, yeah, exactly. She is feeling. She's a human just like all of us. I mean, no, a lot of the kids that have, like the kid that got like kicked out pretty much every day. He really didn't do anything bad. He just made jokes and stuff when as we were walking in, and this wasn't even during class being in session. This was before the periods changed, and just for like making jokes or silly comments, he gets kicked out within the first 3 minutes of class. I mean, what the hell? Yeah. Oh, she's a really sweet doggy. I love her to death. I snuggle with her and pet her every day. She's a really good girl. Isn't that right, Missy? Yeah. Mm. But yeah, I love Lou to pieces. I know, she's really cute. Whenever we travel places and wherever we go, places where we actually bring Lou, she gets a lot of attention. I mean, everyone's always wanting to pet her and saying how adorable she is. 'Cause she is, I mean, she's really adorable. That exactly. That's how they deserve to be treated, but unfortunately, a lot of people in our country are very hateful towards disabled people. And there's been kids there was actually a kid here in Florida who got arrested just for being autistic and having a crying outburst, um there's also been some kids um who've been there was one kid who was autistic who was playing with a water gun and he got shot and killed by cops. By Aaron, who do you mean? I don't see Aaron Stone on here, if that's who you're referring to. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I did not know that. Okay, yeah, I never found out what your name is. That's good to know. But yeah, I do got some cool stuff coming soon. I got several videos from Louisville, Lexington, and Knoxville, and yeah, I also still have some. I do also have a few videos from near the Tampa airport that I got, like at some hotels near there, and I still got several more Myrtle Beach videos to upload. So, just kind of giving you a little idea of what's to come. And I still have my some videos, that I've still neglected to upload, from when I showed Daniel around Orlando last year. But the reason I haven't uploaded them is a lot of those elevators are ones I filmed and uploaded, like, just before he came, so but those things are due for another upload. He's hibernating in my other room. He has been busy with school, and yeah, since he is a tired backpack who's busy all the time, he's hibernating. I need to do some videos of him again. It's been forever. It's been like 2 or 3 years now. He has been. When I've driven to school, he goes in there all the time. And he doesn't like it there because, it's he's not a fan of it, but yeah, he has been. I know, right? It's crazy. I know you're looking forward to it. And I hope your stay at the Frontenac is better than mine was. Cause I had to switch rooms because the AC was busted in the first one, and the second one had rusted light fixtures. And oh yeah, and in the first room I had there, the bed was uncomfortable too. I mean, yes, in general, the more you pay for a hotel, the better quality you get, but it's not always true. And Fairmonts, I mean, they're disgustingly overpriced. And I'm not happy with what they did to that place either, especially destroying those Otis Touch elevators. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, you love Pennsylvania a lot. Pennsylvania lover Alex. Oh, I gotta put Lou down because I think she needs to get down. So I'll be right back there, guys. Hold on. All right. In my opinion, that is one of the saddest losses in vertical transportation history ever. Same said with the Buffalo City Hall mod, and also the Macy's in Pittsburgh getting its elevators ripped out and demolished. I mean, this decade has been a sucky one for elevator mods and destruction. And I think I have an idea based on a comment on one of my videos. I think I know what those places are, but don't worry, I won't say. They have every right to tell you not to film, but taking your phone or camera is bad, and I've actually heard there's some people that have filmed elevators in New York City that have nearly gotten their cameras smashed for filming. Yeah, and, speaking of sad elevator losses, so when I was in Louisville, I went to the Starks building, and the Starks building is currently being totally gutted and turned into a hotel and apartments. And I was told they're gonna replace all of the elevators there, from what I've been told, at least based on what the guy said, because he when I asked, he said everything in the building was being replaced, and on one of the banks that is 6 elevators, there's only gonna be 4 that are there, apparently. And when I went there, I had to enter from the back because all the other entrances are closed for renovations. And I couldn't ride the elevators due to asbestos because they were gutting out and doing internal demolition on the upper floors. I did get a look at them. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, only one autotronic is running in the entire building. There's 10 autotronics in that building. Only one's running, and there's the manual freighter that's running, but very soon those elevators are going to be no more. Yeah, exactly. I hear Cleveland has several Westinghouse pop outs. There's a user from there who deleted his channel, sadly, but he's no. There's at least 3 buildings there that have original Westinghouse pop outs. Yeah, I am not happy about what's going on with the Starks building. I mean, that building was gorgeous, and now they're destroying every. It looks like they're going to do what they did to the Macy's in Pittsburgh, and the Chateau Frontenac and the Waldorf Astoria, and pretty much every building that's historic that's been renovated in the past few years. They're going to probably destroy every bit of historic charm the place has, except maybe the lobby, but I don't know. But still, I really hate a lot of these historic renovations. Well, like historic building renovations, they just aren't tasteful. They destroy every bit of character there is. I saw that those Otis touches got modded. I hate to say this, but in 10 years, probably by 2030, my prediction is that those Otis touch elevators, they're probably going to be extinct. I mean, so many of them have been getting modded and are modded. I mean, the buttons are technically considered, I mean, they're technically heat sensitive, and they aren't, because of the way they work, they aren't really ADA compliant. And yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but touch sensitive Otises are probably going to be a thing of the past. I would hate for it to be, but that seems to be the reality, though. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if the sad thing is, if you look back in 2013, they still had a lot of Minnesota still had a lot of vintage elevators, and now they got nothing practically. Oh, I know. I'll be right back. Just Yeah, definitely go to those places, and I'm doing pretty good, by the way, just kinda bored, and that's why I went into, to, um stream. Pretty much everything. I mean, Florida, Minnesota, Iowa, um, Alabama, and, Georgia. I mean, they have, like, the worst elevator codes there. And it's strange that's the case with Nashville, because if you look at, like, Memphis and Knoxville and Chattanooga, they have a pretty good amount of vintage stuff. The only places I know of where there's still a decent amount of touch buttons are Washington State, Oregon, the Great Lakes cities, in the Midwest, like, Cleveland, Buffalo, Rochester, Detroit, those kind, and Milwaukee. So like the Great Lakes cities and cities near them, and Canada. Other than that, touch is pretty much either really, really rare or extinct everywhere else. For now, but I was told by another filmer from there that they have a new code in place that requires elevators from before the mid 70s to be modded. It was elevators and more. Yeah, yeah. There's pretty much, I mean, there used to be lots of vintage stuff up there, now they got nothing. Milwaukee has a lot of vintage stuff. Yeah, yeah, I mean, the places I've found more than one touch system in are Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, and Montreal, and trying to think. That's pretty much it. I mean, not many cities have touch anymore, and even the ones that do, I mean, they usually have a few, but like, they're really rare though. But yeah, not many places have them anymore, and they used to be pretty much everywhere, but thanks to elevator modernization, they're rare now. That's awesome. Houghton is way too rare, at least for me anyway. Wait, what kind are the low-rise elevators? I mean, sometimes, there are some occasions, like with those palace elevators in Myrtle Beach, where, like, they do actually need the mod, but for the most part, though, yeah, mods are not necessary. I've been on a few hot-ins, but only, like, 4 of them, they're really rare. Well, actually 5. 3 of them were in Washington State, and surprisingly, 2 of them were in Florida, but the 2 I found here were really late hot-ins from, like, the late '70s, early '80s. Yeah. I know, yeah, well, that makes sense though, because if you think about it, I mean, if you look on like Google Maps, Detroit is only 2 hours away from Toledo, and Houghton was based out of Toledo. Yeah, Toledo, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Western New York, and Michigan and Indiana seem to be the only places where Houghton is plentiful. I mean, everywhere else they're super rare. Yeah, I mean, in here in Florida, we do have a few manuals here, but and I'm assuming that they're historically protected and that they're exempt from the codes, but other than that, everything else is modded. Like vintage fully automatic elevators, you aren't gonna find here. And if you do find one here, it's very hard, excruciatingly hard to find one here. And chances are it's probably going to be modded in the next 1 to 5 years. Well, the thing is, people that aren't elevator enthusiasts like manual elevators, and they think that they're cool. But the thing is, though, I mean, the thing is, a lot of these fully automatic vintage elevators, like the ones from the 60s to the 80s, a lot of people don't see them as cool in a, or historic and charming. They're just seen as outdated. That's why a lot of them get modded, but still, I mean, a lot of times they run just fine and you know, they usually they run just fine and so why mod them? Okay, that's good to know. I don't know because I haven't been to that area, but that is good to know though. It's like bye, Alex. Yeah, that's very true. Hey, Metroburg Elevators, what's up? I didn't know Detroit had a lot of Series 1, that's interesting. Mm, mm, yeah. Here we have too much newer Otis. Here we have too much newer Otis and ThyssenKrupp. Yeah, I saw like Northland Elevators, like back in 2013, they had a lot of cool stuff there. Now they got nothing. Same. Here in Florida, pretty much everything is modded or is getting modded. There's some elevators here that are only from the 70s that have already been modded 2 or 3 times now. Yeah, 3300, they're rare, but they aren't too hard to find, but they are pretty rare though. Shout out to Hopland. He's if it's the person you're referring to, yep, he's running for the governor of Wisconsin. And I hate to say, but just gonna say this: if you live in Wisconsin, I'll feel very bad for you if he wins. That would really suck. Though I don't see him winning. I mean, he's only like he just graduated high school and he's not even he's only like 20 years old and I don't see how he's going to make it to being a governor, but we'll see. I mean, I'm shocked our current president became president, but there's only yeah, the only place here in Florida, in Central Florida, where there's 5500s I know of, are the ones at the Tampa airport, and they unfortunately have VR. I respect that. You have every right to your opinion, but just don't correct mine. And yeah, all I'm gonna say is that I mean, like I said, I respect your opinion. I have my own, and I do for a reason. So, but I'm not gonna. My goal is gonna try not to get too political here. You serious, Jim? Oh my god! And this is the other thing. We've had more shootings than ever in a long time lately. Hey, what's up? Queen Elevator Crazy. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do about it. Well, let me see something here. Alright, I hope that works. I just muted and unmuted it. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. A lot of people have been commenting that they've been ear raped today because of whatever's been going on as I've been chatting here. Yeah, 3,300, now that I found a 5,500, I could care less if I find a 3,300, but, you know. You're not offending me, Jim, that's funny right there. Oh, where I was staying at in Lexington last week, they had 3,300s. In fact, you know what? Let me see something if I think I can actually share my screen. Okay. So I think you guys can see my screen, hopefully. Um, but yeah, so let me show you something. Yeah, my hotel I had stayed at, it had 3,300s. Nope, this is Knoxville. There we go. Let's see where my video is. Do. Right here. Stay tuned for this, by the way. This will be coming up probably pretty soon. My apologies if this is glitching a bit. Yeah, stay tuned for that. And also stay tuned for this as well. Not a video I want to make, but recognize this. Well, guess what? The building's being gutted, turned into a hotel and apartments. Boo. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know where these are and what these are. Only one was running, and it's this one right here. But yeah, there's a little preview of what's to come. Yeah. There you have it. The Starks building. They are going to be replacing them based on what the guy had told me. So there you have it. I was told by Andrew recently that the elevators at Nick's are not doing well. I hear they stop on every other floor and are in horrible condition right now. They're only doing a slap-on mod? I thought they were going to be doing a full mod with new motors and controllers, but that's strange. I thought they were going to be doing a full mod. I don't see why they want to replace the buttons on them. I mean, the Lexan buttons appear to be in mint condition. Did they say why they're replacing the buttons? I mean, I know you had said they were talking about doing a mod for a while, but yeah. And by the way, I totally agree with that, TKA Fan 29. Too much stuff is getting modded these days. I mean, if it were just maybe a few or one place every once in a while that got modded, that'd be one thing. But we're losing lots of vintage and amazing elevators at such an alarming rate. No, you're cool, but seriously, don't do the Y ferned crap. Oh, we are environmentally degrading. What up, Fern? How are you doing? What up, techie boy? Magic lift, whatever. My Fern is here. I just had to see how you guys reacted to that. Ferned. Juliet. That was a fail typo there. Yeah, society really is gone downhill by a crap ton lately. It's not the tech's fault that those elevators are getting modded. It's the building owner's fault because they choose to do the mods. Yeah, that's all very true. Yeah, lots of shootings. Our music sucks. Also, our schools are horrible now, and crap goes on. There's crap going on all the time in schools. Our schools are horrible, and our political situation's out of control. It has been for a while, but it's just gotten worse. Facts right there. Very true. Very true, Jim. Every school I have gone to has been horrible. The only school I've been to that was at least semi-decent, and even it wasn't that great. I mean, the only good decent school I've been to was, my second elementary school I've gone to. Every other school I've gone to has been flat out horrible. For so many reasons, I could probably spend a long time here talking about them. I go to a charter school. It sucks. Not as much as the public schools do, but it still is pretty bad and is getting worse and worse each year that I wouldn't be shocked if it's as bad as a public school real soon. At least a Florida public school. Pretty much in Florida, if you're gonna go to school, you wanna pay a crap ton of money and go to a private school. Everywhere else here sucks. All of our public schools are just crappy. And really, unfortunately, this is the case pretty much throughout most of the US. Because, like I said, our schools are ran by businessmen and people that just don't care about kids. And, it's just, yeah. The only good public schools I've heard about, at least here in the States, are in Pennsylvania, um, the West Coast, and your school you had gone to, Jim. Those are the only positive experiences I've heard from people in this community with like autism or any disability at a public school. I mean, everywhere else, it's just horrible. And recently, my governor here in Florida is now arming teachers now. He's now making it so bringing guns to school as a teacher is legal now. Do you seriously think, as someone who's been locked in closets, cussed at, and called a retard by teachers, do you seriously think I'm gonna teach do you seriously think I'm gonna trust a teacher with a weapon? Hell no. Sorry for my political rant there, but well, the thing is, I mean, your state is not is different. Your state, if I'm not I mean, your state is actually, ran by people that are more anti-gun because the liberals they're not really that into guns and we want more gun control. I mean, here in Florida, it is conservative to the extreme and the Republican businessmen have ruined our schools. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put anyone down if I mean, I don't care what you are as long as you're respectful, but all I'm going to say though is the Republicans have destroyed my state. That's all I'm going to say. Not I'm not saying if you're a Republican you're bad, but the major ones that hold like some sort of political office in Florida at least are. Agreed. Yeah. That's how Florida is. And I'm sorry you had that experience, Jonathan. And my governor's a Republican who was heavily endorsed by President Trump. But that all being said, I don't necessarily I mean just because I like I said, I don't like talking about politics here, but it's just some I know some you guys have questions and stuff like that. Well, yeah, society is crazy, but and just because your governor is a Democrat, I mean, doesn't mean he's good either. I mean, the sad thing is, even though I'm pretty left in most of my views, I will say this: not all Democrats are good either. If you look at the governors of Virginia and New York, they're literally going all over the place promoting abortion and saying murdering babies is a good thing. I mean, so I mean, it's just society's in a really rough place right now. And the former mayor of Tampa, he's an idiot too. I mean, he will sometimes go around and say how much he supports Hillary Clinton and wants to help Muslims, and then he'll say Obama's a liar and CNN's fake news. I mean, it's just it's I mean, a lot our country is ran by crooks. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but America is literally ran by middle school kids, crooks, and just mentally ill people that aren't getting the help they need. So, yeah. No, I'm talking about people that run our country. You are not at all. Yeah, you're cool. Not you're cool. And the thing is, a lot of people in our country think we're idiots. I mean, a lot of people in foreign countries think we're idiots, and yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, I love Star Trek. I really hope they make a new one eventually. I mean, I've been missing those. I love Star Trek. And I mean, ever since Leonard Nimoy passed away in 2015, we've been losing a lot of the great classic rock artists and legendary actors. It's been really sad. I mean, the 2010s has been a bad decade for many things, such as politics, people dying, cool historical places and elevators being destroyed, you name it. But, you do gotta stay positive and you just enjoy things while we can. And the thing is, when we see stuff whenever you guys see something vintage elevator wise or in general, film it and enjoy it when you can while you have it, because you never know. It may not be there tomorrow. Well, it's not just that. Like a lot of people, our government here in Florida is trying to end tourism to Cuba right now. And a lot of people throughout our country, I mean, they're racist. They support banning people from other countries. People from our country go to other countries and they don't respect their laws or culture. They just don't have any respect. They just A lot of people in our country have no respect for anyone, and there's a reason why a lot of people see us as fat idiots. And so that is also true, Jim. I mean, I mean, I'm not trying to talk about anyone here. I'm not saying anything bad, but you guys all know Van City Elevators, right? He's told me that his family literally hates our country right now because of how bad our society and politics are right now. And as sad as it is, and as much as it annoys me how he's always, saying things about it all the time and saying things negative about our country, it's true. It is. Of course, Jim. Feel free. It is a strong word, but I'm just stating the facts here. I mean, we don't help people at all. Like, whenever there's people at war that need to be saved, like in a lot of these Islamic countries, we aren't helping them. We're just saying, oh, we're praying. And we expect a lot of people here expect praying to work. And that's not reality. I mean, where if you look at like Canada and Australia, they're allowing refugees and people that need help into their countries, but we aren't. We now Obama, he was about to do that, but he then he had to leave the house because his term was up, and now we got our lovely president we do now. So it's crazy. And I miss James Brock too. I mean, that guy who shot him deserves to spend rest of his life in prison. He really helped me through some really tough times. I really do miss him. Aren't we all? We are more than just elevators, of course. I mean, there's way more to life than just elevators. I mean, there's some people that are all like obsessed with them, and I mean, I get it, but like, thing is, there's way more to life than just elevators. But still, it's a big part of who we are for whatever reason. I mean, ever since I was a little kid and I rode the first elevator I remember riding, it was just like magic to me ever since, and I wanted to learn all about them. Yeah, I love aviation a lot, I will say, and I'd love to learn to fly someday. Now, transit, I love trains and I love subways, I love all that kind of stuff, but um but but buses, I'm personally not a fan of because I've just had too many bad experiences with them. Because whenever I go on a field trip, when I've gone on so many field trips, and when I would ride the bus when I was in elementary school, it would break way too much. It's just so unreliable, and I'd get stranded. And whenever you get stranded in Florida, where it gets to be 90 to 100 degrees with high humidity, it's big because you pretty much just melt to death, and it just sucks. And one time I was doing a field trip in 6th grade somewhere, and we did in our field trip, we missed half of it, and it was just it blew because our bus's gasket blew, and we had to get out because smoke started filling up the bus, and, the engine was smoking, and it was scary. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of buses, but I do love trains and subways. Yeah, they are. There's actually train museums in Denver, in Chattanooga, in Nashville that have and also Savannah, where they have some 100-plus-year-old train steam-powered locomotives that still run today. I don't know if it's necessarily that, but what I will say though, I think part of the reason why some of the elevator community is so glued to the internet and struggles to find anything else to do is because our public schools are a disaster and many people here have very few friends. And back 3 years ago, I was that same way. I have more friends now, but public school still I mean, school still sucks, and even now, I don't have a crap ton of friends, just a few. But you know what? What I have had to learn is that you can always I mean, you should always have it's better to have a few friends you can trust than a ton of friends you can't trust. Trainovonic for well, that would be a good name for a locomotive model if they actually if Otis started making trains. I don't tell people about my channel unless they're interested or are curious about it. Or I mean, if they find out I could care less, but like I don't really like telling people about my channel cuz I just worry about getting bullied and made fun of for it. Yeah, they did, but they're really really rare though. I like the Silverado and the Ram 1500 the best. Well, you've been lucky, Jim. You haven't had to deal with that many bullies in school, and where you've been, you've had numerous people being nice to you everywhere. That's not been the case with me. And it's unfortunately not the case with many people. And part of the reason me and my dad didn't really get along super well and we had a lot of and he blamed me on everything involving school is because he was a lot like you, Jim, in some ways. He didn't have any struggles in school, and everyone was nice to him. And I am living in a state with one of the worst education systems in America, and also in a country that already has a bad reputation for education and schools in general. And also, and times have changed, and yeah, I've just dealt with lots of nasty kids and dirty teachers, so let me fix that. Well, let me try to. Yeah, I was always reporting people, and you wanna know what the school did? Nothing! And they blamed everything on me, most like 80 to 90% of the time. It's true though. A lot of schools, they don't like I said, they don't care about kids. All they care about is just themselves and no one else. Yeah, I know. I was gonna hop off here when Andrew did, and it looks like Andrew became live, but I don't even know if he still is anymore. But you know what? It's I'll probably talk to him later on anyway, so it's all good. I don't really care if you have to swear. I mean, as long as you're not saying anything in like an attacking way, or if you're and stuff like that, as long as you're not doing that, I really could care less if you swear. But I generally try to keep my videos and everything clean because I got a lot of do have some younger people watching my videos, but I try to keep it clean in general, but I mean, if you feel the need to swear, I'm not gonna stop you because yes, because off camera I do swear quite a bit. I mean, not a lot, but I do sometimes, and it's just once you get to be 16 or older, I'd say it's pretty normal to cuss at least sometimes, so not all autistic people are like that, but I get what you're saying, though. But the problem is a lot of parents dump their kids and just ignore them because of being autistic. That's part of the problem with why many are that way. I get what you're saying, Jim, but, like, as I've said, I'm not like I mean, what I've learned is that sometimes you just need to let it all out, and when you're, like, really upset and stressed, sometimes you just need to drop the swear word sometimes. I mean, now that being said, I'm not saying that because if you just swear all the time for, like, no reason or just to make yourself sound cool. It doesn't make you sound cool, and it's just it will make you sound stupid, but sometimes, you gotta fight back. Sometimes you need to let let everything out, and sometimes you just need wanna make people laugh. If you don't do it if you do it once in a blue moon, swearing isn't too bad, but, like but doing it all but, like, it's just but doing it all the time isn't good, but, you know. Oh, kids at my school and every school I've gone to do it all the time. Exactly, the same thing happens at my school, and it always has at every school I've gone to, basically. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, as long as you aren't attacking anybody or using it in like a hurtful way or just doing it to make yourself look cool, I mean, really I don't have that big of a problem with swearing, but just don't be like I said, just don't be doing it all the time to make yourself look cool or attacking people. And don't be using stuff like, the N word or the FA word. I mean, because that stuff, that is beyond regular cursing and it's very offensive and hateful. And I've been called the FA word multiple times at school because I'm single. And haven't really dated anybody, so because they just assume that if you're not dating anybody, you're gay. And kids at my school, they always make fun of gay people and say, "Bruh, that's gay," or whatever, and they always say mean things about gay people and act like being gay is such a bad thing, and I mean and the thing is here's the thing. I know some people say that in the Bible they say it's like wrong and stuff. I respect that they may feel that way, but here's the thing. Stuff like that is why I don't really associate myself with any religion. I mean, pretty much every religion to me is just kind of full of crap. I'm probably gonna take a shower really soon after this, hopefully I can get a haircut soon. My mom wants me to get one. Oh, yeah. I don't not like modern rap music. I personally I like, I like, classic rock, hard rock, heavy metal, that kinda stuff. Oh, yeah, that is also a very offensive word. Thank you, TKA fan. There is a certain someone who surfs lifts in the UK that loves that word, by the way, and the C word. And one time when I was in middle school on a field trip, my mom was chaperoning, and there were a bunch of students swearing and doing drugs, and my mom had to get them to stop. And when that had happened, when that happened, my mom had him stop, and then as the kids got all pissed off as a result, and as they were, my mom, after they had said that, she heard a kid whisper the C word and the B word calling her that. So, my horrible experience in school, it's not just me. My mom's had to deal with a lot of crap because of it too. Yes, I've heard of it. What is up, Garden State Elevators? I'm probably gonna hop off here soon because I've almost been here for nearly 2 hours. I cannot believe it, but that is awesome. I still have 1 more year left, but I can't wait for school to be over with. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do yet once school's over. I'm probably gonna either go to college or go to a trade school. I'm not totally sure, but I'm thinking I'm either gonna be doing something involving, building things or, like, maybe, working for the railroad or working maybe being an elevator tech, but I'm not totally sure what I wanna do yet. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, first of all, I'm not 40 years old, and second of all, I am not gay. I'm gonna block you right now, um, so yeah, congratulations, you've been blocked. He just said yeah, he literally said something about you and your gay friend and that being me, and that I looked like I was 40 years old. I know what elevators they have, they're Otis. Series 4. They're kinda similar to what the Wyndham Bonnet Creek in Orlando has. Yeah, exactly. She seems like a troll, that's why I kicked her. I love Series 4. They're the, Four Seasons and the Grand Lakes Ritz-Carlton and JW Marriott here in Orlando, they have very nice Series 4s. Yeah. Yeah, I do get what you mean. I mean, many movies and shows portray high school like it's such a good thing. Sad thing is, that's not reality. At least for most people, including myself. And it's sad. There's several people in my family that have had such a good experience in high school. I mean, not too many, but a few, but my experience in school has been god awful, and it has been for a few other people in my family, but for many of my cousins, it's been good surprisingly. But I guess this is what you get for living in Florida and also, being a kid with Asperger's and ADHD. And I'll be honest, I think schools actually caused me to develop PTSD. 'Cause, I mean, I literally every time I hear yelling or whenever anyone gets aggressive, I literally start shaking like an earthquake, and I freak out, and I've been showing a lot of signs of PTSD ever since 7th grade when I got locked in the closet. Yeah. Yeah. Who's Nene B? Yeah. Oh, well, guess what? He didn't pop up, at least over on my end. So I'm guessing chances are. So I'm guessing what chances are I probably already blocked him. Oh, now I see him. Never mind. 90s was the best. I'm glad to hear. Yeah. Yeah, I swear. I mean, I have gotten to do some great things this time growing up in this decade, but it's been pretty rough with a lot of the stuff going on at the same time. I know, that's pretty awesome. Yup, it's the real Diesel Doocy. Yeah, you were really lucky to it seems you were really lucky to grow up back then. But people are not people anymore. Yup, that's pretty true. Yeah, sorry I missed it. I kinda lost track and was just chatting with people here, but I will happily talk with you, later tonight or tomorrow if you'd like. Back when my mom was growing up in the '70s and same with my dad, public schools, I mean, teaching um, was actually considered to be a trustworthy, like, good job back then that people was smiled upon, and it was people were actually trained and people were taught respect back then. But now nobody that's just not a thing anymore. Sounds great, of course. I'm sure he agrees. Like I said, that happened where happens at every school I have gone to. Even the only school I went to that was, like, semi-decent in any way was my 2nd elementary school. I mean, everywhere else I went was horrible. Totally. It's true, it's true, and what would really piss me off is back when I would was in middle school, whenever I would get upset and I just said, like, maybe one curse word, or if I said one time I was asked to give an example of responsibility, and I said picking up your dog's crap because that's true, and guess what? I got in trouble for it, and yet the kids were at my school were always nasty towards gay people, black people, and saying such filthy language every other sentence or word. Yeah. Well, anyways, it's been a long time since I've gotten on, so I'm gonna hop off here. I'm probably gonna call you real soon, Andrew, if that is good. And you're very lucky to be homeschooled, by the way. But anyways, chat with you guys later. It was nice talking with you. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. And yeah, bye.